When people seek your advice, it feels good. But if you always give advice, people will become dependent on you. You'll become a bottleneck. You will suffer and your team will stagnate. This video shares 6 simple alternatives to giving advice so that you can lead better. It's likely early on in your career, you were rewarded for your advice. The more expertise you develop, the more people will seek out your expert advice. Initially, when you're in this situation, this can feel so good that people are finding value in the knowledge that you can share. The challenge? As you start to lead others, your success is not dependent on only your own expertise, but how you can develop that expertise in others. As your responsibility grows, if you are the only expert, people will become dependent on you. This will lead you to being overworked, overstressed, and ultimately you'll underperform. To help you break free from this trap, here are 6 alternatives to giving advice. So let's imagine a scenario where a team member is having difficulties with a stakeholder. They come to you to seek your advice of how they deal with that situation. Your first response might be to give them the direct advice and say, here's what I would do with that situation, especially if you already have a relationship with that stakeholder. But here are some alternatives to giving advice that you could offer in that situation so that you can build the resourcefulness and the learning within the team member. So number 1, the first option is you can just simply summarize and reflect back what you've heard. So in this situation, after the team member has shared the details of the situation with you, you can simply reflect back and summarize what you've heard. This can work for 2 reasons. 1, it validates that you've understood and listened to the employee. And secondly, often when you reflect back, the employee will engage further thinking about the situation and is likely to engage with their own problem-solving processes. So it's likely just by simply reflecting back and summarize, the team member might come to a better understanding of what they might do in that situation. The second alternative to giving advice is to connect them with another team member. This can help because it promotes team members sharing problems with each other and getting peer-to-peer support rather than the manager solving all of the problems for the team. The third alternative is to share an observation. This might be about how the person has shared the information with you, such as their voice and the tone of voice, or their body language as they said it. And you may pick up on certain cues that you can sense about the situation. For example, you might share an observation that, I can sense that this is difficult for you and you're avoiding something in this situation. Just by sharing this observation, it's likely again to engage with the person's problem-solving processes and allow them to reflect what might be stopping them from taking action on their own. The fourth option is to share an opinion. This could be to let your team member know that actually you think they can solve the problem without you, and that in this situation you're going to hold back the advice and that you'd like them to go away and solve the problem without you. And the fifth alternative to offering advice is to ask a question. In this example situation where the team member has a challenge with a stakeholder, this could be a really simple question such as, what have you tried so far? This is, in my experience, one of the most powerful alternatives to offering advice. By asking the right questions, you can help your team member think through their own problems and often now come to a better realization of what they need to do. And often that answer is better than the advice you could have given that situation as well. This becomes easier once you know the questions to ask. Check out my video that's on the 7 coaching questions that managers can use to coach their team. The 6th and final alternative to offering advice is to stay silent. This can be the most difficult yet most powerful response in this situation. By staying silent, you give time and space to the other person to think through their challenge. And often, even if you're quiet just for a few seconds, the person will share more information about their challenge, and that time and space has given them additional time to think better. These are the 6 alternatives that you can use instead of giving advice. So that's summarize, connect, observe, share an opinion, ask a question, or simply stay quiet. And my final advice to you is that advice is not always a bad thing. So don't take away from this video that you should never give advice. But think about when you offer advice, Are there better alternatives that you could choose? And when you do give advice, offer it as a gift. One of the things that I do is when I'm sharing advice, I'll simply ask a question first to the other person. I have some advice to offer you in this situation. Would you like to hear it? And that gives the other person the choice to decline the advice if they want to spend more time thinking, or it gives them the opportunity to then accept it as that gift. So you can learn how to build these coaching skills in Switch, a free 5-day program that I built to help you. Each day you'll be given a 5-minute exercise that you'll be able to complete that will help you build coaching skills around active listening, asking powerful questions, and mastering your emotions. And don't forget to hit subscribe so that you get all the best insights to help you, your team, and organization improve.